Now, here we go with your host of Dustin's Final, Dustin Chafin.
Yeah. Nice. Give it up for my funky band leader, Anthony Kapfer.
Hello.
Keeping it not that white. I like it, man.
Keeping it funky. Not that white. That's a good way to describe me. Not that white.
Not that white, Anthony Kapfer. I love how he was like, a plane got shot down. Okay, give it up for Dustin's Final. What?
I didn't hear about this.
I didn't hear about it either. I hope
have
it was
no
a
idea
model
what that's
plane.
a reference to. Yeah, a model plane.
Some kid with, I hope it wasn't like a one with people. That's why. That's why we do this show, so people can escape from real news and just lose themselves in this whatever it is we do on here. It's
people are dying right now. Anyway, it's time to laugh
and talk about music nobody likes. Hey guys, this is fun. How was your music week? Did you listen to anything fun this week besides what we were supposed to listen to?
Besides that, let's see. What let me see. What's
in your jam? What's in your queue? What do you like when you're just like chilling out? What's at your top thing?
The last thing I listened to, I'm looking at Spotify because I forgot. I was listening to this Wilco album that came out a long time ago. Yankee Hotel Foxtrot.
Oh yeah,
that one.
That's don't.
A good one. And then I was listening to a band called Parquet Courts.
Wow, man, you got me on all those bands. What's one of the questions today? Is for the Twitchers out there, is who's your band that you judge others for not liking? Do you have like a band that you just like when people don't like it, you're like, really, dude?
Well, I'm always skeptical when people shit on the Beatles. I know it's like the obvious one, but because you can learn almost anything you need to know about writing a good pop rock song from the Beatles catalog.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big red flag. And then Nirvana is like the band that made me want to be a musician. So if somebody says they don't like Nirvana, I'm a little skeptical of their taste.
Yeah, mine's probably Fleetwood Mac and the Doors. That's probably...
Is it really? Because I don't love the Doors, I gotta say. Is that a thing with you?
That was
and
just an
Jeff?
inside Jeff. With my co-host waiting in the rains. I was just trying to make him laugh. Yeah, it's to me, it's anything that's like like blues and like a BB King or kind of the thing. Allman Brothers is kind of my religion. So when people don't like the Allman Brothers, I'm always like, dude, because to me they're the Southern Beatles. Like they're a band that kind of like from the South. I think they're the most intricate band. It really did a lot of kind of original work and stuff that a lot of people weren't doing, and combining different forms of music.
They're a band that I have always been aware of, but I never dove too deep. So what would be, if I would, for somebody like me, where would be a good album to start with?
It's kind of, I always say greatest hits and work your way back, but Peach is good. I mean, it's, just, I have all of them. And, it's just every time I see one, there's one. Greg Allman by himself is great. Like just don't get the Cher Greg Allman album. That's the one you want to avoid. Yeah. You want to avoid that one altogether. That's when people were really famous, when they could just like, hey, we're fucking, let's make an album.
Let's just do an album together.
The Peach is great. That's a good one. Okay. That's probably the best one. Let's see here. What other question? Another question. So this one's fun. If I can, I got this. I got to figure out a better way to do my questions here. Let's see. So who did it best? And this is gonna later. Who did it best? Madonna, A. Cyndi Lauper, B. C. Britney Spears, or D. Lady Gaga.
Is this for me or just
this is for you? Yeah, we're gonna ask everybody else as well. You guys get ready for your answers for later, but this is just for me and Anthony right now.
I think there's different things to consider. Commercially, I think Madonna, if because of the longevity of her career and
she bangs 18-year-olds at 60. So I got to give her that.
If I was going to hang out with one of them, I would hang out with Cyndi Lauper. I like Cyndi Lauper the most.
I'm going to Cyndi Lauper all day. Absolutely. Yeah. I think something about her is just really like fun, and like she didn't take herself that serious, whereas Madonna kind of got a little too into Catholicism and trying to prove points and, a little weird stuff. Whereas I think Cyndi just kept it fun because girls just want to have fun, and she just kept it fun. Yeah. I think talent wise, I'm going to go Lady Gaga. I think Lady Gaga can play because I'm a big guy. When you can play an instrument, I'm going to elevate you. It's just.
And she writes a lot of the songs, right? Doesn't she write all of them? Or
writes
most
all
of them?
of the songs. I think the other artists write some of the songs as well, but I think Lady Gaga is, classically trained and whatever.
Yeah. But Madonna wrote some, I think. But I think most of the hits that Cyndi Lauper had were not her songs.
Yeah, I think in my random pull today is an artist, Nina Simone, which I always put Nina above Aretha Franklin, Ella Fitzgerald, anybody, Etta James, whatever, just because she could play. She was a classically trained pianist, and she would have been that if she had gotten into the school she wanted to. And because of racism and all that bullshit, she wasn't able to get in. So she kind of got into the jazz, circle and started kind of creating this kind of music. This album is, it's just an amazing piece of music. I don't know if you have this one, but
I don't have that one. But
I Put a Spell on You, which is the big famous song.
It's a great song.
A lot of the soundtrack. What was that? She's in some spy soundtrack that was on. God, I forgot. I'll find it in a minute. I'm losing my mind.
Anyway, I watched the documentary.
Fonda was in it. Yeah, they did a remake of it.
Oh, okay.
Point of No Return. That's it. That was big. They had a lot of her music in that. That's kind of what I got turned on by.
Oh, okay.
Then I got more sophisticated in my old age. But you guys, Nina Simone is a great pull. And she, not like some of these, artists out there just dancing around. Like she was really.
Oh, yeah.
And she was an activist.
Yeah, protest songs and stuff.
Yeah,
those
a lot of her
great too.
Protest songs. So that's my random pull today. Nina Simone all day. And one last question before we premiere our video today. We're going to premiere a really cool video we're very excited about. And last question. This is an interesting one because best band that sounds like other bands.
Oh,
because there's a lot of bands that I like, and like Jeff got me on to the Struts, which I think they're phenomenal. I listen to them all the time, but they sound like six other bands, and I don't care because they're so good. And so I feel like like Oasis, I think would be in that realm of a great band that sounds like another band.
Yes.
Who would be that for you? Do you have one?
Well, there's a band that I really love called Local H.
Okay.
And they were one of the only bands that I've ever heard where you could tell that they loved Nirvana, but it didn't sound like it. Every other band that tried to sound like that was terrible. It was too much. And they had a nice balance of like, they definitely were influenced by all the same bands and also Nirvana and brought their own kind of thing to it. And they're a two-piece band, which is, and that was before White Stripes and Black Keys and all that stuff.
That's cool. Well, today we're going to be talking Rival Sons, which is one of my favorite bands of the past couple of years. And, they got a Zeppelin sound and stuff. So we're gonna kind of be talking about that kind of stuff. So very cool, very excited. So guys, if you could answer those questions, that hopefully you have different answers, and you can kind of throw it at us. We're gonna be we love your input. It breaks up the show. We have fun with it. So feel free to answer some questions and get it out to us because we really like that. And we're gonna premiere our video called The Snooty Record Guy. And so take it away. This might take a few seconds if you want to play a little bit while he's loading it.
Hey, how's it going?
Can I help you?
Do you have any Pat Benatar? Love is a battlefield, hit me with your best shot,
No, we don't carry that kind of stuff here.
What? How do you not have Pat Benatar?
Because she sucks.
She's the greatest. She's so underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
She's not even in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's what you're going by? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is all corporate. It's nonsense.
How about Madonna? You got any Madonna?
Oh, you mean Dolly Parton with drum machines?
Like a virgin? Come on, what is wrong with this place? Madonna, another underrated artist.
What? Did you really just call Madonna underrated?
Blowing my mind here, man. Get some good music in this store. What do you know about music?
You want to talk underrated? All right. Here, Harry Nilsson, son of Schmilson.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
The Breeders, Mountain Battles. What? Much better than Last Splash, which is the one you probably know.
What? Nope.
Pinkerton.
Never heard of it.
Van Weezer. That's the only good one.
Van Weezer. Dude, you're in the wrong place.
Maybe you're in the wrong place.
You know what? You're right. I quit.
You gonna quit?
You run the store.
Yeah, I'll run this place, and I'll fill it up with Madonna and Pat Benatar records.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's start the show. Hit it, Anthony. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dustin's Vinyl. I'm bringing in my lovely co-hosts, Jeffrey, Paul, and Adam Holmes. Yeah. Look at that. That was high tech.
Wow.
Video and everything.
Yeah, where did the inspiration for that come from? Oh, shit.
And I watched High Fidelity the day before we.
I told her, you got to be a snob. I want you to get into Jack White, the whole thing. And
I've seen it before, but I hadn't seen it.
I watched lots of Who's Your Band, so that's how I got into my inspiration.
The acting was incredible, guys. You fucking nailed it.
We did pretty good, I thought. Yeah,
I feel like I was just being myself. Except I do like Pat Benatar.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And actually, I like Madonna.
I like Pat Benatar too. I was just making fun of the whole element of the show. We're making fun of the show. It's fun.
Yeah.
Stop shitting on our acting. We're taking risk here. All right, Paul. Don't make me go after you. I will. Let's have fun. We're family here. We don't shit on risk. We take risk.
We take risk. That's right. We do.
That's right. So good to see you guys. This is fun. I thought that was fun. I thought it was a fun way to kind of do something different on the show. I don't like to do the same shit over and over. I'm not married. We like to like to switch it up, make it different. So,
I like the question about the who did it better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. And Cyndi Lauper, you're right, Anthony. She didn't write a lot of her stuff. You know who wrote a lot of her stuff, a lot of her hits? Eric Brazilian and Rob Hyman, and they were in a band called the Hooters. Do you remember them? All You Zombies, Johnny B. They were a great 80s band, but they were just like incredible songwriters, and they wrote like a lot of her big hits.
You like Nina Simone at all, Jeff?
She's okay.
She's okay. She's fucking phenomenal, dude. I'm gonna win this show. You think Nina Simone's okay?
It's not like my kind of music. I mean,
you can't say she's okay though. You can't be like she's okay.
I can say anything I want.
Dude, no.
Even if it's not the kind of music you like, she's incredible at it.
She's unbelievable, dude.
Sure.
Oh my God.
You're ridiculous.
Pat Benatar.
You think the Cars are overrated?
Pat Benatar.
I think the
Cars are underrated. I think the Cars are underrated and Nina Simone is overrated.
Because she was artsy, Nina Simone, so we have to like.
She was artsy. She was a classically trained pianist. She wrote all her music. She wrote all her music. She was phenomenal, man. She like made a stance in the 60s.
I'm not gonna listen to that all day.
Oh man.
Wow. Yeah. All right. What do you got? So who's your artist today? So what album did you pick
for today?
Talk about okay. Talk about be average.
Someone's been in obscurity for years and didn't work hard and didn't pay her dues. And the world was just thrown at. She didn't sacrifice. Little unknown artist named Madonna.
Talk about okay. Yeah, she's okay.
Listen, she's more than okay. You know, this is
no. Nina Simone is more than okay. You can't
is Madonna.
Nina.
Okay,
she's all right.
She is. So we're talking about today her debut album that comes out in 1983, and when it charts, when it first comes out, it enters Billboard at 123. And she's only 24 years old when it comes out. And, you know, a little background about Madonna is she came, you know, I think we all know she came out of the New York dance club scene. She danced at places like the Limelight and Danceteria, which were big discotheques in New York City. She actually worked as a waitress at a Danceteria. And I actually know and worked with the guy that signed her. It was Seymour Stein. And Seymour Stein's kind of like a well-known guy. He was known he signed the Ramones, the Talking Heads, the Pretenders, and he had a label that was called Sire, S-I-R-E. Remember Sire Records? And they, I think, wound up becoming a subsidiary of CBS Records. That's who I worked for, like in the mid '80s, and we worked on the same floor together, which was the 11th floor of Black Rock on 52nd Street in Manhattan. But anyway, Seymour Stein is in the hospital when he first heard Madonna. Madonna's friend over at Danceteria was a DJ named Mark Cummins, and he gave Seymour a cassette tape. He listened to her, signed her, and that was her first album. And you know, I think it's a collection of electronic dance music, pop songs. It spawned hits like Holiday, Lucky Star, which was her first top 10 hit, you know, number 4. Yeah, that would be a good version of it. Borderline.
I like it.
That would be if the Cars met Madonna right there. Yeah, remember Borderline? And when she first also broke, she was on a lot of black stations.
Much like Elvis.
Yeah.
They didn't have black stations when Elvis came out.
But what she did was she brought together like a whole bunch of different subcultures. You know, she brought together black, white, Hispanic, gay, straight. And when they first released Everybody, the singles were released with no picture of her because they thought she was black when she first came up. So I love her album. I think part of when you talk about Madonna, you're also talking about her style of the time, the jewelry. Remember the boy toy belt buckle was like, you know, big for her image. If you remember, like girls, you know, everyone wanted to dress like her. There'd be Madonna lookalike contests, and you know the songs. I mean, I think the songs are great. Like the song "Burning Up." High energy, raunchy rock guitar solo in it. Even though there was like a lot of synthesizer in that song, I enjoyed going back and listening to this. It had like real organic instruments. Like Borderline had that really very pretty piano medley in it. I wrote down some. I wrote down some notes. You know what it reminded me of? You guys remember a song by Stephanie Mills called "I Never Knew Love Like This Before"? It was a 1980s song. I never knew love like this before. No,
I don't know that one.
That Borderline really reminded me a lot of that song. You know, especially that piano part.
The intro part? They have like, because it also. Well, I was trying to learn some of the parts. And it's got like a similar riff as that 38 Special song.
So Caught Up in You. Yeah, that's Caught Up in You. Yeah, I can hear that. I can see that.
You know that part?
So Caught Up.
It's kind of like seen it all around you. Good love and gone bad. You know the song.
That's exactly. The other songs I liked off of this. Did you guys like Physical Attraction? That was my favorite track off of this. I really liked that.
That one was okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't one of my standout tracks, but that one was pretty good.
I think Borderline's probably the best one.
Borderline is
Borderline's
Holiday.
Great.
I thought it was a great one. I like, she wound up, what they did was like, so this album was released in 83, and you start to see like the big disco 12 inches. You remember like the extended mixes of songs? And she wound up getting like this really famous DJ who wound up mixing her songs that really blew her up. Dance club. Do you guys remember DJ Jelly Bean Benitez?
No, I do not.
No, but that's the next character for next week.
DJ
I want to play Jelly Bean. That's all of my life.
He winds up becoming like a really big producer of pop music, but it was doing extended mixes of Physical Attraction and Holiday, where it was like his first foray into actually producing anything from scratch, So this album has a lot of history and really branched out and influenced a lot of people. Like one of the people on that list was Lady Gaga, and you can hear a lot of Madonna influenced in Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga owes her royalties.
Yeah. So
and she owes Grace Jones royalties, And
then it's a deep album too.
Jeff, don't you think there's a little influence with Grace Jones, like with her like outlandishness and stuff?
I think with the artsiness, yes. And I think from what I remember of Grace Jones, a little bit before my time, I remember Grace Jones being really like a big like fashionista type of,
it's fashionista music pretty much.
She was Studio 54, but I think her fashion overshadowed her music. I remember she had some disco hits, but I wasn't a big fan of it. I thought Madonna kind of really crossed, genres. I mean, she was dance music. She was considered a little bit of R&B. Later on, Dress You Up off of the second album had a heavy rock overtones to it. So I think
it's a good one too.
Yeah, she kind of like crossed a lot of different. She broke a lot of different lines. I think like on the first album that we're talking about here, I think it's something like Burning Up. You see a little foreshadowing into what her future may be, because that's a really erotic song, So I think it's an album that is like, for a debut album, it's like, oh my God, like you can go like 4 or 5 deep, just like The Cause, and it's just like such a great album, and there's not a clunker on it. Yeah. So and then she has a string of hits. She, of albums. She goes like into like the mid 90s, into the 2000s as well. But this was a great way for people to get to know her. She's a woman. She came from Detroit, worked hard. She was what she wound up doing. She was also a dancer for Patrick Hernandez. Do you guys remember Patrick Hernandez? He had a disco hit called "Born to Be Alive."
Oh wait, that sounds familiar.
Born to be alive.
Yeah.
When he toured, she was one dances. So you also see like maybe she does the blueprint for J-Lo a little bit, because J-Lo was a background dancer as well. So I think Madonna is, I don't listen to like her politics. I don't listen to what any celebrity really has to say. But I think as far as talent and and taking risks and the things that she's done, I really have a lot of respect for her. And I don't know if you guys ever seen her in concert, but she puts on a hell of a show too, man. She works.
I can imagine.
It's a long show.
I like her politics better than her music, to be honest with you. Like, Madonna. Madonna's kind of like alcohol for me. I just, I did too much of it, and then I had to stop. And so I feel like, I think the best Madonna album is the Immaculate Collection, because it has her hits in this way that it's just like, it's perfectly put together, because a lot of greatest hits albums aren't good. And I love that album. I think it's a good album. I think it like encompasses everything. I have a hard time just listening to a Madonna album all the way through. Mm-hmm. Like this one was tough for me, because I just feel that it's just not music I'm listening to now that I'm an adult. I feel like when it came out, I was in junior high, and it was a big deal, and it was fun, and she was gorgeous, and the whole thing. And Madonna could teach a class on how to become an icon. she introduced things like you said. She cross culturally. The world was pretty white. It was pretty boring. It was pretty. She was introducing a lot of New York funk into pop music and stuff. Things that were happening in New York, underground music that was happening. The dancing, 100%. The thing, and all the stuff that the people weren't really getting into yet, because before
don't forget the jewelry too.
No, fashion.
You love the jewelry. You're all about it.
The rubber bracelets.
I was about to say that. That's what when I say icon, that's what I mean. But she's also very Marilyn Monroe. It's it was a lot of just stuff that she took, that she embraced, and it was great. I love her as an artist, and her longevity is great. It's but after a while it was too much. It was just like it was too much Madonna. She had no business being in a lot of movies and things, and after a while you're just like, Jesus Christ, how much more Madonna are we going to take? And but and the music's not very complex to me. It's a lot of simple hooks, and I think it works for pop music. And I think just because something's a hit doesn't mean it's great. But I think MTV and her being in Playboy, those combinations really exploded her. And like you said, the dance tracks and like all the dance 45s and stuff, the 12 inches or whatever. So yeah, she's great. I can't take her anymore, but I haven't been able to take her music. Last live thing I saw was a Super Bowl thing. That was weird. So she's good, but it's not something I would put on. Much like you think Nina Simone's okay, I think Madonna's okay at best. It's just not something that I would turn up if it came on the radio. Unless it's like, my favorite song is not on this album, but Crazy for You, I think, is her masterpiece. I think that's the cool. That's the heartfelt song that I like, because it was in Vision Quest, and that's a great movie. Yeah. And so, because I love wrestling, but I was gonna say, off of Vision Quest, I used to love the song "Change." Remember John Waite? Yeah, vaguely, but I love that. But her, I think she's great. She's good, and she's and she, without her, we don't have a lot of other things. And so I give her credit for all of that. But it's like Nina Simone's the same thing. Without Nina Simone, there's not a lot of music happening. And so same thing. She's just as much of a pioneer as Madonna is, and that's So I see her like that. Madonna's a pioneer, but at the same time, it's like it's not my thing.
Yeah,
I definitely think she's a pioneer.
And she was great at constantly reinventing herself, her image, her sound.
Yeah, it was fun, the videos.
Her music grew.
Yeah.
Her music grew. Like when you look at songs
in the 90s, she did like the Bedtime Stories album.
She tried to play guitar a little bit. She tried to
she hit a real clunker when she
played guitar like Barry Gibb. Played guitar.
Remember, like she did a remake of and that was, I think, one of the worst remakes I've ever heard.
Which one?
American Pie.
American Pie.
The plane song.
I don't remember hearing that.
Vita was probably her worst.
Okay.
Her worst.
The Vita was bad.
The Vita was really bad.
But I think like the one with Frozen, and the duet she did with Justin Timberlake. I mean 4 Minutes to Save the World. I think those were great songs. And she really evolved as an artist. And musically from the first album.
I don't think she made it out of the 80s. She's another one that did not make it out of the 80s. In the early 90s, she skipped around.
Her chart
early
success
90s.
would disagree with that.
Early 90s. I don't think she made it out of the early 90s. I think 93 and it was over.
What I loved though? I loved the
prove me wrong.
That Ray of Light song. I don't know what the rest of the album was like.
That was late 90s.
Yeah, that was 90.
Frozen. Those were all later 90s. She had the one other one that she kind of like sampled off of ABBA, Caught Up in You.
I don't remember that one.
Those were all really like big club hits,
Yeah.
And they were so edgy. And then remember, I think when you think of like early 90s, you're thinking like the Exotica album, which I really didn't like all that much. I thought it was a little weird.
Yeah. Adam, how you feeling about Madonna as an artist, this album? Like, talk to us.
I mean, I mostly agree with you, Dustin, about how she's so iconic. You can't dismiss her influence, but it's really I had such a difficult time getting through this album. I just thought every single song every song was very similar. I did like Burning Up. I thought that was a great song. I hadn't heard that one before, but I'm just looking here, and she had 50 number one hits. She's got the most number one hits for any artist.
Wow, that's a lot of number ones.
You thought like Physical Attraction and Holiday sound even remotely similar?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, most of it, especially this album. I know that some of the other albums, the songs are a little bit more distinctive. I thought this one was just more clubby, more dance oriented.
Oh yeah,
well, it was. That's what. But that was her audience. Right. That's what she was going after.
Yeah, she's talented, but it's just not for me, man. It's not.
It's funny because I actually liked this album more than the other one that we're going to talk about later.
Really?
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's kind of interesting right there. And also like Dustin had kind of mentioned she was in Playboy, and when she first came to New York, I mean, she was basically homeless, and she was living out of her car, and to make ends meet, she would like pose naked like for art studios. Like she was doing like photography, artists, and that's how those pictures wound up getting released. And so she, instead of like running away from it, she embraced it, and she agreed to do something. It scarred
a lot of us because when we saw her armpit hair, it was like, oh my God, we've never seen that before. So it was like, because Playboy everything was polished, and so here comes Madonna in Playboy, everybody's excited, and then she's like, and we're like, it was just too much.
Was that before Truth or Dare, or was that after?
Way before. Yeah.
I didn't even know she was in Playboy, because I mean, this album came out a year before I was born. This first one, and
it looks like it looks like she's been following Fish on tour for about 4 years. That's what it looks like.
I remember when the book came out, the sex book.
That was later.
Yeah. But that was that might have been the first time I remember hearing about her when I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with Madonna, it's like she like I'm a Sinead O'Connor guy. So it's like when Sinead, it's like, I don't know. It's like when some of that was happening, she's later than Madonna, but I just like, I would hook on to something late after Madonna and just stay there. I never went back to Madonna is what I'm saying. Whereas I feel like, it's one of those, she's a great, and I do love Cyndi Lauper. I think Cyndi Lauper just didn't take herself too serious, where Madonna was bringing in black priests and crucifixes and shit. And you're just like, it just was
a lot
like
of imagery, and she really did embrace MTV, but so did Cyndi Lauper.
She did, but not like Madonna. I felt like she took herself less seriously. Like I felt like she was more fun. I thought it was more
it was mostly fun.
Yeah, she wasn't trying to,
Cyndi Lauper did the theme song for Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh, you gotta love that.
Right. She also did the when she also the song on Goonies.
Yeah, Goonies are good enough. Yep.
Oh, really?
Sure, yeah. Come on. So that's what I'm saying. You're doing Goonies. You can't take yourself that seriously. Hey, Adam, did anybody any questions? Anybody chime in? What's going on?
Yeah. We got some. Let's see. We got Joyce Rose 1313 says, "I loved Holiday," and Madonna did it all, which we were talking about before. Happy Mischief. She was the best at reinventing herself. We got a question here from Morty Nault, who asks, just from our artist from last week, do you think Billie Eilish is this generation's Madonna?
No,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't compare them. I don't think.
No, that's definitely more Gaga, but yeah.
Nicki
Minaj and those kind of people, I think. But the other she might be for the generation. Okay, here's the deal. Every artist is a product of their generation. So Madonna was a product of us. We were wearing swatches. We were dance clubs. We were into. So it was like she was a product of us. Whereas like Billie Eilish is a product of kids now. And, depressed, wearing baggy clothes, whatever it is that, that kids are now, it's different. So I see what they're saying by that question. So I say yes a little bit because of that, because a lot of the kids are kind of like her, Billie Eilish. So Madonna was a, better looking, more fashionista person, but we were all striving to look that way. Because in the 80s, there were women looking like Madonna before Madonna. I mean, it was like, the hair was teased, everybody's wearing bracelets and stuff. We were on our way to that. And she just kind of took everything around her and made it bigger. But there was a lot of Madonna types before Madonna.
Well, even Cyndi Lauper had a similar look as Madonna when she first came out.
Oh, yeah.
That was just the look.
Yeah, it was like... So
I would run a parallel between Madonna. I'd say Madonna and Cher.
I could see it
with the way
early
the way the music evolved, the way they kind of changed themselves.
Cher's a way better actor, though. I'll tell you that.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
She crushed her with the acting.
Did she win the Academy Award for Moonstruck? Or she would nominate for something?
I think she won. Yeah, I think she won that.
Either Moonstruck or
any other questions?
Or Mask? Did she get anything for Mask?
No, but that was
a good one.
She should have.
That was a good one. Just have to. Never mind. That was a weird one, but it was good. The hooker scene freaks me out. All right, Adam. Any more questions? Did anybody answer the question? Who did it better? Who did it better? Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, Lady Gaga,
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears. You think Britney Spears?
I think Britney Spears had potential to be on that level early on, but
so Jeff says Britney Spears.
No, I'm going to say if to answer that question,
yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to go Madonna, but I mean,
okay.
You know, if you're going to break it down to the points you spoke about earlier in the show, when you talk about overall talented, you know, playing music and writing and everything. I mean, Gaga. I mean, you know, she's off the charts right now. You know what the way she plays.
Also on the charts.
Rates. Yeah. Say the least out of all of them would probably have been Britney Spears. She don't write anything of her own.
That's true. She doesn't typically write. And she hasn't. I mean,
I think she's the best. I think she's the best. Like maybe I'm going to say dancer. I'm going to give Britney dancing.
If we're doing a competition here, she gets some dancing.
You're a phenomenal dancer, Jeff. Do you have any of that footage, Adam? Do you have any of that footage of
and
Jeff
I follow
dancing?
Britney Spears on Instagram. And she posts like all these dance things that she does, right? So I watch them, like, you know, I critique her dancing. And I'm like, and then I send her notes.
Critique her dancing.
Yeah, I sent her notes.
I bet you do.
Yes.
I bet you do. Because you're
I'm like,
phenomenal.
you know, this is what I would do. Let me show you. And then
you know who I would have put as one of the choices, multiple choice on this question? I would put Janet Jackson.
Yeah. Same era.
No.
Yeah, same era. And also talk about reinventing herself.
We only do white people on this show. We're kidding, everybody. We're kidding. Janet was bad. I mean, Paula Abdul was good. I mean, you could go on and on and on and on. But it's like, you know, it's you don't like Paula?
I love Paula Abdul.
Oh.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. I like the animated cat in the video.
Yeah. She dated Arsenio Hall.
Opposites attract.
Yeah.
Straight up, I still think is a song that holds up, man. I think that's still a really solid
Madonna
song.
ruined Sean Penn, though. I think after they broke up, I think that's when he started hitting the cocaine hard, you know?
Yeah, but that's when he started winning his Academy Awards, too.
Did he?
Yeah, he wound up doing like Milk afterwards, and you remember?
Oh, okay.
I mean, Milk was
a cocaine
much
joke,
later.
Jeff. Way to step on it. Anyway.
Listen, I go for accuracy and facts on the show.
You know, he didn't do cocaine?
No, I'm not saying he didn't do cocaine. I'm just talking
about. That's a joke. He did a lot of cocaine.
Okay, he did cocaine. Very good.
Yeah, that's all it was a cocaine joke. There is fact. You go for facts and accuracy. Okay, and then Nina Simone's okay. Well, that's still going to haunt me for the rest of the week.
It's opinion. It's opinion.
Madonna can't even it's not even close.
Yes, she can.
No, she can't.
Yes, she can.
Not for the soulfulness of the music.
It's two different types of music.
No, it's not. It all comes from blues. It all comes from rock. It's all the same thing. It all comes from the same place. It comes from one place.
It's too. You know, if you're gonna say soul, then you know why not throw Dusty Springfield in there? I mean, you talk about someone who sang from the soul and from the heart, and I mean, she, you know, you would put her in there. She was also
white.
Well.
It was a lot easier to sing when you're white.
Yeah, but it wasn't easy to sing. You were a lesbian.
They didn't know that till later.
No, because you had to keep it quiet.
Pretty easy to see that she was black.
She was.
She couldn't get into schools. Like she couldn't even get into her own shows. You know, backstage kind of stuff. Like, you know, it was different for black people in the 50s and 60s than it was for a woman who might be a lesbian.
No, she was a lesbian.
No. Might appear to be a lesbian. It didn't come out till later. It wasn't right away. It wasn't right away. I have an album right now. It talks about what kind of boys she likes. They do a Q&A on the back of the album. It says, what kind of boys do you like? And she says, I like tall men. Like, it's a whole thing. It's a Q&A they used to do.
So they also kept what's his name, Rock Hudson, in the closet as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know what his music's like, but his acting was pretty good.
His music was very much like Liberace's music. Liberace was another guy.
He wasn't gay. There's no way he was gay. Liberace? No way. If you really think I mean that, you don't know me at all, Jeff. You have no idea who I am. If you really think I meant that,
no.
All right, save us, Adam. What else we got? Anything?
Let's see.
Save this show.
Yeah, we got a bunch of people saying that's kind of a tie, really, between Madonna and Lady Gaga for that question. Yeah, that was about.
Okay, that's it. All right. Yeah. What about? So we're to go into the next one. So what about bands that sound like other bands? What do you guys? Who do you guys like that sound like other bands? Bands that sound like other bands.
I'll give you an old one and a new one, and they both remind me of the same band. Do you remember the '80s band Zebra?
Vaguely, yeah.
Okay, Tell Me What You Want. That was like their big hit. Wait Until the Summer's Gone. I used to love this band. Both Zebra and I love Greta Van Fleet, and they both remind me exactly like Zeppelin, who I think is on my Mount Rushmore of bands. So I'm gonna go with those two.
What about you, Adam?
I might go Gaslight Anthem, who they took a lot of flack for sounding like or structuring a lot of their songs like Springsteen.
Oh,
okay, very cool. And so what's the band today? What album we got today, Adam? What are you bringing in for their second feature?
We got the 6th studio album from the Long Beach, California band Rival Sons, Feral Roots from 2019. Now this was nominated for 2 Grammys for Best Rock Performance for Too Bad and for Best Rock Album.
Such a great album.
Yeah. I mean, this is and you know what? This band actually formed on MySpace.
That's so cool. So Jeff knows them well.
Right.
me and you know them well. You and Alan Fuchs.
Alan Fuchs.
He's the one that got me into this band.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah. They're such a fun band. I mean, go ahead, Adam. What do you think? What's your take on this album?
Well, I mean, first, I didn't even realize they've been around since 2009, and this is the first. I've heard some of their songs before. This is the first album that I've sat down and listened to of theirs, and it took me a little while to get into it. They were a little bit too much at first. I thought of a throwback band. It's kind of the same situation with the Struts, but I started getting really into, especially today, getting really into this. I mean, it's great bluesy, hard rock, and it's just such a great album.
Yeah, I enjoy it. They're just a lot of fun, and it's like their Pressure and Time is such one of my favorite songs, and that's, on that album is really great. I think that's the name of the album, Pressure and Time. But yeah, they're fun. And the drumming, I really love the drumming on their albums. Like the drummer is like, to me, the star of the band.
Mike Miley.
Mike Miley, that's his name. He's fantastic. Yeah. Like, it's like there's so much good drumming, and I'm a big fan of the Cult. And I think his voice kind of sounds a little bit like Ian Astbury a little bit. So it's like that's kind of my ideal band, a band that kind of rocks out with talented guitarist and drums, and then a guy that kind of has this kind of high voice that's gothic, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I like this album. I hadn't heard this album. Pressure and Time is always in my loop and all that, but I listened to some of their older stuff. So I was happy they had a later album, but they're just a band that works for me. Like the music, I liked most of the tracks. I was kind of into. I mean, once in a while, I could see like a track, being kind of like sounding like the other, whatever. But that, to me, that's good. That's the reoccurring thing in rock music, that one of the songs sounds like the other. There's only so much you can do sometimes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like that's going to happen a lot. So I'm forgiving of that, because like the Struts, I mean, it's like I love them, but a lot of the songs are similar, and Anthem and what they're kind of going for in the style of the music. But just like the Struts, I really love Rival Sons, and I just think this is a fun album, and I know Anthony hated it, but I'm curious why you didn't like it. So let's go Anthony, and we'll go Jeff. So Anthony,
I didn't hate it. I actually did like it, but there's something I can't even really put my finger on it. There's just something about it where if I don't listen to it again, I'd be okay.
I can see that. Okay, I'll give you that.
But there's stuff that it's very Led Zeppelin. But the cool thing is that they can kind of back it up. Like there were some drum parts that guy was doing where I was like, that's a John Bonham kind of thing, and he's pulling it off. Yeah. I thought that I think maybe what it is the singer reminds me a lot of Chris Cornell, but he's not Chris Cornell. I mean, he's good at what he's doing, but I guess there's just something. It just felt like maybe I was listening to Discount Soundgarden album at times. So maybe that was something that but yeah, there was moments there definitely Zeppelin, some kind of Sabbath stuff, like some of the softer songs, the vocals kind of sounded a little.
They opened for Sabbath.
Yeah.
They were the opening band for Sabbath when they reunited and went on tour. They were like the opening band.
Well, that makes sense. The first, I forget the title, but the first track on the album, the riffs kind of reminded me. I mean, everything was Zeppelin-like, but it also kind of had a Rage Against the Machine kind of like the riffs.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I get it. I mean, how do you feel about the Struts? Don't you feel like they take a little piece of everybody?
I don't know the Struts.
Oh, you don't know the Struts? Okay, you got to get into them. You'll like them. Yeah. All right, Jeff, talk to us.
I like hearing like you guys talk about like who you think he sounds like, and it's funny how like music like hits us differently.
He said totally different people. Like it's interesting. Yeah,
because I was hearing a lot of Paul Rodgers in his voice, and you were saying Zeppelin,
Bad Company.
Yes, and that's who they reminded me of. Like I guess of a 2000 version of Bad Company. I loved this. I absolutely loved this album. I was getting mad that like how is this band not bigger? After listening to that album, and how did it take me so long?
They're so not underrated.
To get turned on to it. They are completely underrated. They are completely underrated.
They probably still have 3 houses though. That was my joke. It was just like,
listen, I have 2 houses, and
hey, quit front. We don't do that here. Stop
2
that.
houses.
Yeah, you and your wife make money. Stop making it weird. No. We're talking about the artist.
But I think they're great players. I think the hooks on the songs are great. I think their songs are made for FM radio. I just think I don't get why this band hasn't blown up yet. And but the shame was they were supposed to tour this summer. They were supposed to be the opener for Aerosmith on their 50th anniversary. Wow. And the big show was supposed to be Aerosmith doing 2 nights over at Fenway Park, and they postponed that. They pushed that back to 2022. But I thought this was going to be the year for Rival Sons, and so now they're going to have to go and do listen. This is a band that is of money, and that has to do like club dates, and they're going to do like smaller venues, headlining on their own. But I thought the exposure that they would have gotten with Aerosmith this summer, I thought this is a band I think that still has a lot of room that's going to take it to another level.
I think so too. I think the problem with this band, they just they started in 2009. That's a lot of it. I feel like they're a band that I think it's hard for guitar bands and musical bands to start this time and age. Like 100%. It's just a different time. Like 100%. People want hip hop, people want dance, people want J-Lo type stuff. People want, it's like it's just different. It's like that's why there's no, when we watch the Super Bowl halftime show, there's no young rock band because they're hard to find. I think it's like one of the hardest things.
Look how they disrespected, rock bands like this, or rock bands in general, disrespected on the Grammys or even in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But
Kanye was with Paul McCartney. Like, who's that old guy? Like, the generation coming up doesn't understand. Like,
100%.
Yeah, I think 100%. They started a few years earlier. They could have had the same success as the Black Keys or Kings of Leon, because they kind of fall into that same. I mean, even their first song sounds a little bit like the Black Keys.
Yeah, and I think they're doing okay. They're probably probably the same kind of fan base as the Black Keys in a way, where it's like they sell out. I'm sure they sell out when they go to places. I'm sure they could sell out the Beacon. I think enough people know who they are. But it's like, I think they're coming up. But I think definitely exposure would have been better.
they headlined a couple of years ago. They did like the outdoor amphitheaters, and they were the headliners, but they needed a strong support act to sell out. So like those were venues that were like 2,000-3,000 seat venues.
Do you remember who
and that's
opened?
what I want to. Oh my God!
Yeah.
The name's escaping me.
Oh, sorry.
It was someone who was actually it was someone who was actually halfway decent. Like it was a good band that helped them sell tickets.
I'm sure they'll end up in some festival circuits, and then they'll get bigger and bigger. And it's just like, but they're a great band, and we're hopefully Anthony, I want you to check out Pressure and Time. It's very Zeppelin, but it's a beautiful song. Zeppelin. Yeah. It's a beautiful song. It's a perfect rock song. It's called Pressure and Time.
Sorry, it may have been Clutch.
Clutch is great.
Clutch.
It may have been Rival Sons Clutch.
That's my band. Like I would love to see that concert.
That would be a great show to go see.
That would be good. I saw a Clutch with Motorhead, and that was a phenomenal show. That was really good.
Motorhead must have
the
been great.
Nokia Theater. That was phenomenal. It was so good.
Nice.
And that was the first time I was it was the first time I felt old, because my friend, she always takes me to concerts, and we always go. And she always asks if I want earplugs, and I go, nah, dude, I'm cool. And I was like, I don't need earplugs. All right. I'm not at that level in my life. Like I'm still, and then fucking Motorhead starts. I'm like, I need those earplugs immediately. My ears were bleeding. All right. Adam, any more questions? We only got a few minutes left.
No, I don't see, actually I see an answer here to, the question about bands, sound the same. Let's see. Expeded, Din says, I would say the Black Crowes and Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin. Okay. Exactly. That's a smart man right there. Led Zeppelin. They get off on that a little bit. And then it's just like a lot of people sound like Zeppelin, and then they sound like a lot of people. So that's a whole nother thing. It's a cycle. It just goes and goes. All right. What news coming out, Adam? What do you got? What's the new stuff we can get on vinyl right now?
All right, let's see. Well, first, actually, from the top of the show, Anthony was talking about Wilco, Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, and Parquet Courts. I could probably Light Up Gold, right? Their debut album.
Oh yeah, that one's great.
And I gotta say, if you guys haven't heard it, two fantastic albums. Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, probably one of the best albums of the past 20 years, and Light Up Gold is just a great album. It's got the such a great 1-2 punch of Master My Craft and Borrowed Time. Great albums. You got to check those out.
Sweet.
See, so since we had, I'll start with the soundtrack. Since we had soundtrack month last month, got the 2017 Charlize Theron movie Atomic Blonde coming out from Mondo Music. Double LP. It's a needle drop of the 80s best cuts. I mean, there's
so good.
Till Tuesday, Mode. Voices Carry, which is such an awesome song. We got Flock of Seagulls, I Ran, 99 Love Balloons, London Calling. There we go. And George Michael's father figure. Plus you have Health, who we heard on the Grand Theft Auto 5 soundtrack doing a cover of Blue Monday. So
I know the Orgy cover.
Yeah, which is a great cover.
Yeah, that's a good movie too, man. I mean, it's like
Atomic Blonde.
She's hot. She's kicking ass. It's great music.
I think I saw that in theaters. I don't know why.
Good. Yeah, so good. I just saw Spiral at the movie theater. That's the Chris Rock produced thing.
Oh, the Saw thing.
Yeah, I don't like critiquing people. I think, but Chris Rock makes comedy look easy, but he makes acting look really hard. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so we got a bunch of reissues coming out. We got since we were doing Madonna, here's another 80s pop star, Belinda Carlisle, Belinda, the 35th anniversary edition, double LP. It's got the songs Mad About You, I Feel the Magic on it. We got for any rockabilly fans out there, we got Brian Setzer, Rockabilly Riot, Volume 1.
Ooh,
a tribute to Sun Records. Yeah,
awesome.
Double LP. 23-track album focuses on Sun Records. Basically, Sun Records songs that were recorded between 1954 and 1957. You got Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Elvis Presley. So covers all those.
Awesome Sun Record tour. If you ever get a chance in Memphis, is phenomenal.
Right.
Very cool, guys. Thank you so much. We're out of time. We got to start the next show. But thanks for listening and watching Dustin's Vinyl. Check it out on our Facebook page and our Instagram. And let us know if you want us to cover an album. Thank you, everybody. It was great.
Bye, guys.
Anthony, play us out.
Something in the way loving doesn't let me be. I don't want to be a prisoner, so let me free. Borderline. in my mind. Over the borderline.
Yay. Goodbye, everybody.